Hi guys, I'm glad everyone is here to join me today. Found some shocking news about what's going on at La Palma. Now, I've reported in the past that the white steam, the white gases coming up is very toxic. The black is the ash. Well, you would think, and so we have been led to believe that they've been measuring the levels of carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, etc. Well, evidently they have been not monitoring the levels of the gases there. And ever since that one man who was discovered dead while he was shoveling off his roof, 72 years old, they have now stopped allowing people to clear the ash off the roof because of the gases. Right here in Santa Cruz de La Palma and Las Breñas, experts say measures will be taken for the first time since the beginning of the eruption due to the sulfur dioxide particles in the air. Here they've been encouraging tourists to visit the island. They've opened up schools there on the island. It was remote learning, and now the students are being allowed to go back, and they have not been measuring the levels of sulfur dioxide, CO2, etc. The emission of gases keeps several affected areas confined. Since the beginning of the eruption, more than 10 million cubic meters of lava have been expelled. This has been translated. Another page that I translated, many of the residents of the area affected by the volcano have been unable to access their homes for weeks to clean the accumulated ash, it says. The problem for residents of the evacuated areas is being able to clean their homes from the accumulation of ash. The strict controls to access areas affected by the volcano are sometimes generating long lines to access their homes. This is the part here that is why they're now tightening up restrictions. I reported about this man's death. The protocols have been tightened after the death of a man in El Paso. That was a man who was cleaning the roof off of his house by himself, that 72-year-old man, and who knows when they found his body. Now, his body was found probably a week and a half ago, and they were going to do an autopsy to find out exactly what he died from, either from a fall or from ash. Well, evidently it wasn't ash, it evidently was gas. Also today it was reported access to the South Highway to the coast closed and neighborhoods evacuated. The reason they're closed? Because of poor air quality. Sulfur dioxide, deadly sulfur dioxide. Now, finally, 65 days after the first eruption of this volcano, they are now taking readings of the gases to find out how toxic it actually is. 65 days later. Here on this web page, they have a map of all the lava flows, the different tongues of lava flows. Eventually, this is going to completely fill in and probably widen. This area here and that area here, those are past eruption mounds or mountains, cones. Just recently, they had a magnitude 4.3 earthquake, very deep, 38 kilometers in depth. And then using Google Earth, we'll go to the location of that earthquake. Yeah, pretty close to the rift system, to the east a little bit. Looks like it is close to Cumbre Vieja eruption. Another thing that makes me mad, let me go over here to where the eruption is going on. They brought in the water purification systems for these banana plants. They didn't bring it in for the people, for the water of the people, and This is now inaccessible because of all the lava that has devoured and, yeah, shut off the road. Probably this one right here, LP2. That's the one that's probably shut off. Yeah, toxic gases. Again, there's the image of the lava flow. Yeah, they wanted to bring in the water purification for these banana plantations. Those are the areas with the little white squares covering the banana plants. One of the Twitter posts that has been translated, most of the magma flows south of Laguna Mountain. New lands have been affected, created. Once again, access to the South Highway to the coast closed and neighborhoods evacuated. Evidently, they're still bringing in workers to the banana plantation using naval vessels, because it says Aradan Valley by sea is still open. So doing a Google search, this is what I come up with. So it'd be LP2 and LP213. And then a little bit further north would be Los Llanos. Sorry for pronouncing that wrong. And there's a satellite view of that area. So this is all closed because the gases from the volcano are too toxic for people to breathe in. Bring the tourist. Keep the schools open. Right, here's the depth for the volcanoes. Here's the magnitude of volcanoes. I'm not going to even try and count how many earthquakes have occurred today. These are all the 22nd right there. 2 up there. Does that look like the volcanic eruptions have slowed down? No, it does not. There was also today a magnitude 4.8. That one too, very deep, 36.4 kilometers in depth, which would be, so that would be more than 22 miles, and all earthquakes are measured from sea level. What else do we got here? Another one, a magnitude 4.3, 34 kilometers in depth. That is today also. So that would be 3 of a magnitude 4 or greater so far today. So I believe this is the magnitude 4.3 between 3 and 4 o'clock today. This here would be the magnitude 4.8. This one here would also be a 4.8 between 8 and 9. And this would be the more recent 4.3. I think that other one, they greatly underestimated it. And this is what it's currently showing between 19 and 20 Universal Time as I'm doing this report. For some reason, between 15 and 1600 hours, you can see the monitor stop working. Yeah, I really believe that this earthquake right here, between 8 and 900 hours, actually the time would have been 8:09. That was definitely larger than a magnitude 4.8. If I was to guess, I would say it was a magnitude 5 something. 2,651 buildings have been destroyed so far. Yeah, what percentage is that now? Because originally, when I did a report, a month and a half ago, it was 8% of the population's housing had been destroyed. So what is it at now? And they haven't been taking gas readings? I can understand where you can't fly over the cone where it's coming out. I can understand that. But not to set up monitors around the volcano in the different individual towns to have some kind of warning system, alarms, sirens go off when the toxic levels reach a certain point, not to have it in the exclusion zones when they are allowing people to go in and shovel off their roofs. Now, after that one death, they are now deciding to finally take testing of the air quality, see how many parts per billion is going on. They've had that equipment there for years and years and years, going back to when I first got into volcanology with the eruption of El Hierro. They got the monitors there. What, no one's been looking at it? They had them shut down? What's the deal? My biggest pet peeve is liars. I hate liars. You are a thief when you steal the truth. You work for the devil, who's the biggest liar in the world, right? But Satan himself. Now they are going to start monitoring the gases. So what are your thoughts? Please put those comments down below. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much for your support. You know who you are. Thank you. Always be prepared for a disaster. You certainly cannot trust any government. Please stay safe, and I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.